Book 19, Sea Drift. Out of the cradle, endlessly rocking. Out of the cradle, endlessly rocking. Out of the mockingbird's throat, the musical shuttle. Out of the 9th month midnight. Over the sterile sands and the fields beyond, where the child, leaving his bed, wandered alone, bareheaded, barefoot, down from the showered halo. Up from the mystic play of shadows twining and twisting as if they were alive, out from the patches of briars and blackberries, from the memories of the bird that chanted to me, from your memories, sad brother, from the fitful risings and fallings I heard, from under that yellow half-moon, late risen and swollen as if with tears, from those beginning notes of yearning and love there in the mist, from the 1,000 responses of my heart never to cease, from the myriad thence aroused words, from the word stronger and more delicious than any, from such as now they start the scene revisiting, as a flock, twittering, rising, or overhead passing, borne hither, ere all eludes me, hurriedly. A man, yet by these tears, a little boy again, throwing myself on the sand, confronting the waves. I, chanter of pains and joys, uniter of here and hereafter, taking all hints to use them, but swiftly leaping beyond them, a reminiscence sing. Once Paumanok, when the lilac scent was in the air and the 5th month grass was growing, up this seashore in some briars, 2 feathered guests from Alabama, 2 together, and their nest, and 4 light green eggs spotted with brown, and every day the he-bird to and fro near at hand, and every day the she-bird crouched on her nest, silent, with bright eyes, and every day I, a curious boy, never too close, never disturbing them, cautiously peering, absorbing, translating. Shine, shine, shine. Pour down your warmth, great sun, while we bask, we 2 together. 2 together. Winds blow south or winds blow north, day come white or night come black, home or rivers and mountains from home, singing all time, minding no time, while we 2 keep together, till of a sudden, maybe killed, unknown to her mate, one forenoon the she-bird crouched not on the nest, nor returned that afternoon, nor the next, nor ever appeared again. And thenceforward, all summer in the sound of the sea, and at night under the full of the moon in calmer weather, over the hoarse surging of the sea, or flitting from briar to briar by day, I saw, I heard at intervals the remaining one, the he-bird, the solitary guest from Alabama. Blow, blow, winds along Paumanok's shore, I wait and I wait till you blow my mate to me. Yes, when the stars glistened all night long on the prong of a moss-scalloped stake, down almost amid the slapping waves sat the lone singer, wonderful causing tears. He called on his mate, he poured forth the meanings which I of all men know. Yes, my brother, I know. The rest might not, but I have treasured every note. For more than once dimly down to the beach gliding, silent, avoiding the moonbeams, blending myself with the shadows, recalling now the obscure shapes, the echoes, the sounds and sights after their sorts, the white arms out in the breakers, tirelessly tossing, I, with bare feet, a child, the wind wafting my hair, listened long and long, listened to keep, to sing, now translating the notes, following you, my brother. Soothe, soothe, soothe. Close on its wave soothes the wave behind, and again another behind embracing and lapping, every one close. But my love soothes not me, not me. Low hangs the moon, it rose late, it is lagging. Oh, I think it is heavy with love, with love. Oh, madly the sea pushes upon the land with love, with love. O night, do I not see my love fluttering out among the breakers? What is that little black thing I see there in the white? Loud, 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 loud I call to you, my love. High and clear I shoot my voice over the waves. Surely you must know who is here, is here. You must know who I am, my love. Low hanging moon, what is that dusky spot in your brown yellow? Oh, it is the shape of my mate. O moon, do not keep her from me any longer. Land, land, oh, land! Whichever way I turn, oh, I think you could give me my mate back again if you only would. For I am almost sure I see her dimly, whichever way I look. O rising stars, perhaps the one I want so much will rise with some of you. O throat, O trembling throat, sound clearer through the atmosphere, pierce the woods, the earth. Somewhere listening to catch you must be the one I want. Shake out carols, solitary here the night's carols, carols of lonesome love, death's carols, carols under that lagging yellow waning moon. Oh, under that moon where she droops almost down into the sea. Oh, reckless, despairing carols. But soft, sink low, soft. Let me just murmur. And do you wait a moment, you husky-noised sea, for somewhere I believe I heard my mate responding to me, so faint I must be still to listen, but not altogether still, for then she might not come immediately to me. Hither, my love, here I am, here, with this just sustained note I announce myself to you. This gentle call is for you, my love, for you. Do not be decoyed elsewhere. That is the whistle of the wind, it is not my voice. That is the fluttering of the spray. Those are the shadows of the leaves. Oh, darkness! Oh, in vain! Oh, I am very sick and sorrowful. Oh, brown halo in the sky near the moon drooping upon the sea. Oh, troubled reflection in the sea. Oh, throat, oh, throbbing heart. And I, singing uselessly all the night. O past, O happy life, O songs of joy, in the air, in the woods, over fields, loved, 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 loved. But my mate no more, no more with me. We two together no more. The area sinking, all else continuing, the stars shining, the winds blowing, the notes of the bird continuous echoing. With angry moans the fierce old mother incessantly moaning. On the sands of Paumanok's shore, grey and rustling, the yellow half-moon enlarged, sagging down, drooping, the face of the sea almost touching. The boy ecstatic, with his bare feet the waves, with his hair the atmosphere dallying. The love in the heart long pent, now loose, now at last tumultuously bursting, the area's meaning, the ears, the soul swiftly depositing, the strange tears down the cheeks coursing, the colloquy there, the trio, each uttering, the undertone, the savage old mother incessantly crying, to the boy's soul's questions sullenly timing, some drowned, secret hissing, to the outsetting bard. Demon or bird, said the boy's soul, is it indeed toward your mate you sing? Or is it really to me? For I that was a child, my tongue's use sleeping, now I have heard you, now in a moment I know what I am for. I awake, and already 1,000 singers, 1,000 songs, clearer, louder and more sorrowful than yours, 1,000 warbling echoes have started to life within me, never to die. O you singer solitary, singing by yourself, projecting me, O solitary me listening, never more shall I cease perpetuating you. Never more shall I escape, never more the reverberations, never more the cries of unsatisfied love be absent from me. Never again leave me to be the peaceful child I was before. What there in the night, by the sea under the yellow and sagging moon, the messenger there aroused the fire, the sweet hell within, the unknown want, the destiny of me. Oh, give me the clue. It lurks in the night here somewhere. Oh, if I am to have so much, let me have more. A word, then, for I will conquer it. The word final, superior to all, subtle, sent up. What is it? I listen. Are you whispering it, and have been all the time, you sea waves? Is that it, from your liquid rims and wet sands? Whereto, answering, the sea, delaying not, hurrying not, whispered me through the night, and very plainly, before daybreak, lisped to me the low and delicious word, death, and again, death, 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 hissing, melodious, neither like the bird nor like my aroused child's heart, but edging near as privately for me, rustling at my feet, creeping thence steadily up to my ears, and laving me softly all over. Death, 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 which I do not forget, but fuse the song of my dusky demon and brother, that he sang to me in the moonlight on Paumanok's grey beach, with the 1,000 responsive songs at random, my own songs awaked from that hour, and with them the key, the word up from the waves, the word of the sweetest song and all songs, that strong, delicious word which, creeping to my feet, or like some old crone rocking the cradle, swathed in sweet garments bending aside, the sea whispered me. As I ebbed with the ocean of life. 1. As I ebbed with the ocean of life, as I wended the shores I know, as I walked where the ripples continually wash you, Paumanok, where they rustle up, hoarse and sibilant, where the fierce old mother endlessly cries for her castaways, I, musing late in the autumn day, gazing off southward, held by this electric self out of the pride of which I utter poems, was seized by the spirit that trails in the lines underfoot, the rim, the sediment that stands for all the water and all the land of the globe. fascinated, my eyes reverting from the south dropped, to follow those slender windrows, chaff, straw, splinters of wood, weeds and the sea gluten, scum, scales from shining rocks, leaves of salt lettuce left by the tide. Miles walking, the sound of breaking waves the other side of me, Paumanok there and then as I brought the old thought of likenesses. These you presented to me, you fish-shaped island, as I wended the shores I know, as I walked with that electric self, seeking types. 2. As I wend to the shores I know not, as I list to the dirge, the voices of men and women wrecked, as I inhale the impalpable breezes that set in upon me, as the ocean, so mysterious, rolls toward me closer and closer, I, too, but signify at the utmost a little washed-up drift, a few sands and dead leaves to gather, and merge myself as part of the sands and drift. Oh, baffled, balked, bent to the very earth, oppressed with myself that I have dared to open my mouth, aware now that amid all that blab whose echoes recoil upon me, I have not once had the least idea who or what I am, but that before all my arrogant poems, the real me stands yet untouched, untold, altogether unreached, withdrawn far, mocking me with mock congratulatory signs and bows, with peals of distant ironical laughter at every word I have written, pointing in silence to these songs, and then to the sand beneath. I perceive I have not really understood anything, not a single object, and that no man ever can. Nature here in sight of the sea taking advantage of me to dart upon me and sting me, because I have dared to open my mouth to sing at all. 3. You oceans both, I close with you. We murmur alike, reproachfully rolling sands and drift, not knowing why, these little shreds indeed, standing for you and me and all. You friable shore with trails of debris, you fish-shaped island, I take what is underfoot. What is yours is mine, my father. I too, Paumanok, I too have bubbled up, floated the measureless float, and been washed on your shores. I too am but a trail of drift and debris. I too leave little wrecks upon you, you fish-shaped island. I throw myself upon your breast, my father. I cling to you so that you cannot unloose me. I hold you so firm till you answer me something. Kiss me, my father. Touch me with your lips as I touch those I love. Breathe to me while I hold you close the secret of the murmuring I envy. 4. Ebb, ocean of life, the flow will return. Cease not your moaning, you fierce old mother. Endlessly cry for your castaways. But fear not, deny not me. Rustle not up so hoarse and angry against my feet as I touch you or gather from you. I mean tenderly by you and all. I gather for myself and for this phantom looking down where we lead, and following me and mine. Me and mine, loose windrows, little corpses, froth, snowy white, and bubbles. See, from my dead lips, the ooze exuding at last. See the prismatic colors glistening and rolling. Tufts of straw, sands, fragments, buoyed hither from many moods, one contradicting another, from the storm, the long calm, the darkness, the swell, musing, pondering, a breath, a briny tear, a dab of liquid or soil, up just as much out of the fathomless workings fermented and thrown, a limp blossom or two, torn, just as much over waves floating, drifted at random. Just as much for us, that sobbing dirge of nature. Just as much whence we come, that blare of the cloud trumpets. We capricious, brought hither we know not whence, spread out before you. You up there, walking or sitting. Whoever you are, we too lie in drifts at your feet. Tears. Tears, tears, tears. In the night, in solitude, tears. On the white shore, dripping, dripping, sucked in by the sand, tears. Not a star shining, all dark and desolate. Moist tears from the eyes of a muffled head. Oh, who is that ghost? That form in the dark with tears? What shapeless lump is that bent, crouched there on the sand? Streaming tears, sobbing tears, throes, choked with wild cries. O storm, embodied, rising, careering with swift steps along the beach. O wild and dismal night storm, with wind, O belching and desperate. O shade so sedate and decorous by day, with calm countenance and regulated pace, but away at night as you fly, none looking. O then the unloosed ocean of tears, tears, tears. To the man-of-war bird. Thou who hast slept all night upon the storm, waking renewed on thy prodigious pinions, burst the wild storm, above it thou ascendedst, and rested on the sky, thy slave that cradled thee, now a blue point far, far in heaven floating. As to the light emerging here on deck, I watch thee, myself a speck, a point on the world's floating vast. Far, far at sea, after the night's fierce drifts have strewn the shore with wrecks, with reappearing day as now so happy and serene, the rosy and elastic dawn, the flashing sun, the limpid spread of air cerulean, thou also reappearest. Thou born to match the gale, thou art all wings, to cope with heaven and earth and sea and hurricane, thou ship of air that never furlest thy sails, days, even weeks, untired and onward, through spaces, realms gyrating. At dusk thou lookest on Senegal, at morn America, that sportest amid the lightning flash and thunder cloud. In them, in thy experiences, hadst thou my soul? What joys were thine! Aboard at a ship's helm. Aboard at a ship's helm, a young steersman steering with care. Through fog on a sea-coast dolefully ringing, an ocean bell, oh, a warning bell rocked by the waves. Oh, you give good notice indeed, you bell by the sea reefs ringing, ringing, ringing to warn the ship from its wreck-place. For as on the alert, O steersman, you mind the loud admonition, the bows turn, the freighted ship tacking speeds away under her grey sails, the beautiful and noble ship with all her precious wealth speeds away gaily and safe. But oh, the ship, the immortal ship, oh, ship aboard the ship, ship of the body, ship of the soul, voyaging, voyaging, voyaging. On the beach at night. On the beach at night stands a child with her father, watching the east, the autumn sky. Up through the darkness, while ravening clouds, the burial clouds, in black masses spreading, lower sullen and fast athwart and down the sky. Amid a transparent clear belt of ether yet left in the east, ascends large and calm the Lord's star Jupiter, and nigh at hand, only a very little above, swim the delicate sisters, the Pleiades. From the beach, the child holding the hand of her father, those burial clouds that lower victorious soon to devour all, watching, silently weeps. Weep not, child, weep not, my darling. With these kisses let me remove your tears. The ravening clouds shall not long be victorious. They shall not long possess the sky. They devour the stars only in apparition. Jupiter shall emerge. Be patient. Watch again another night. The Pleiades shall emerge. They are immortal. All those stars, both silvery and golden, shall shine out again. The great stars and the little ones shall shine out again. They endure. The vast immortal suns and the long enduring pensive moons shall again shine. Then, dearest child, mournest thou only for Jupiter? Considerest thou alone the burial of the stars? Something there is, with my lips soothing thee, adding I whisper, I give thee the first suggestion, the problem and indirection. Something there is more immortal even than the stars. Many the burials, many the days and nights passing away. Something that shall endure longer even than lustrous Jupiter, longer than sun or any revolving satellite, or the radiant sisters, the Pleiades. The world below the brine. The world below the brine. Forests at the bottom of the sea. The branches and leaves. Sea lettuce. Vast lichens, strange flowers and seeds, the thick tangle openings and pink turf. Different colors. Pale gray and green. Purple, white, and gold, the play of light through the water. Dumb swimmers there among the rocks, coral, gluten, grass, rushes, and the aliment of the swimmers. Sluggish existences grazing there suspended, or slowly crawling close to the bottom. The sperm whale at the surface blowing air and spray, or disporting with his flukes, the leaden-eyed shark, the walrus, the turtle, the hairy sea leopard, and the stingray. Passions there, wars, pursuits, tribes, sight in those ocean depths, breathing that thick-breathing air, as so many do. The change thence to the sight here, and to the subtle air breathed by beings like us, who walk this sphere. The change onward from ours to that of beings who walk other spheres. On the beach at night, alone. On the beach at night alone, as the old mother sways her to and fro, singing her husky song. As I watch the bright stars shining, I think a thought of the clef of the universe, and of the future. A vast similitude interlocks all spheres, grown, ungrown, small, large, suns, moons, planets, all distances of place however wide, all distances of time, all inanimate forms, all souls, all living bodies, though they be ever so different or in different worlds, all gaseous, watery, vegetable, mineral processes, the fish, the brutes, all nations, colors, barbarisms, civilizations, languages, all identities that have existed or may exist on this globe or any globe, all lives and deaths, all of the past, present, future. This vast similitude spans them, and always has spanned, and shall forever span them and compactly hold and enclose them. Song for all seas, all ships. 1. Today a rude brief recitative of ships sailing the seas, each with its special flag or ship signal, of unnamed heroes in the ships, of waves spreading and spreading far as the eye can reach, of dashing spray and the winds piping and blowing, and out of these a chant for the sailors of all nations, fitful like a surge. Of sea captains, young or old, and the mates, and of all intrepid sailors, of the few, very choice, taciturn, whom fate can never surprise nor death dismay, picked sparingly without noise by thee, old ocean, chosen by thee, thou sea that pickest and cullest the race in time, and unitest nations, suckled by thee, old husky nurse, embodying thee, indomitable, untamed as thee. Ever the heroes on water or on land, by ones or twos appearing, ever the stock preserved, and never lost, though rare, enough for seed preserved. 2. Flaunt out, O sea, your separate flags of nations, flaunt out visible as ever the various ship signals, but do you reserve especially for yourself and for the soul of man one flag, above all the rest, a spiritual woven signal for all nations, emblem of man elate above death, token of all brave captains and all intrepid sailors and mates, and all that went down doing their duty. Reminiscent of them, twined from all intrepid captains, young or old, a pennant, universal, subtly waving all time o'er all brave sailors, all seas, all ships. Patrolling Barnegat. Wild, wild the storm, and the sea high running, steady the roar of the gale, with incessant undertone muttering, shouts of demoniac laughter, fitfully piercing and pealing, waves, air, midnight, their savagest trinity lashing. Out in the shadows where milk-white combs careering, on beachy slush and sand spurts of snow fierce slanting, where through the murk the easterly death wind breasting, through cutting swirl and spray watchful and firm advancing, that in the distance, is that a wreck? Is the red signal flaring? Slush and sand of the beach, tireless till daylight wending, steadily, slowly, through hoarse roar never remitting, along the midnight edge by those milky white combs careering, a group of dim, weird forms struggling, the night confronting, the savage trinity warily watching. After the Sea Ship. After the sea ship, after the whistling winds, after the white-grey sails taut to their spars and ropes, below a myriad waves hastening, lifting up their necks, tending in ceaseless flow toward the track of the ship, waves of the ocean, bubbling and gurgling, blithely prying, waves, undulating waves, liquid, uneven, emulous waves, toward that whirling current, laughing and buoyant, with curves, where the great vessel, sailing and tracking, displaced the surface. Larger and smaller waves, in the spread of the ocean, yearnfully flowing, the wake of the sea ship after she passes, flashing and frolicsome under the sun, a motley procession, with many a fleck of foam and many fragments, following the stately and rapid ship, in the wake, following. End of Book 19.
Book 20. By the Roadside. A Boston Ballad, 1854. To get bedtimes in Boston town, I rose this morning early. Here's a good place at the corner. I must stand and see the show. Clear the way there, Jonathan. Way for the President's Marshal. Way for the government cannon. Way for the Federal Foot and Dragoons. And the apparitions copiously tumbling. I love to look on the stars and stripes. I hope the fifes will play Yankee Doodle. How bright shine the cutlasses of the foremost troops. Every man holds his revolver, marching stiff through Boston town. A fog follows. Antiques of the same come limping. Some appear wooden-legged, and some appear bandaged and bloodless. Why, this is indeed a show. It is called the dead out of the earth. The old graveyards of the hills have hurried to see. Phantoms, phantoms countless by flank and rear, cocked hats and mothy mold, crutches made of mist, arms in slings, old men leaning on young men's shoulders. What troubles you, Yankee phantoms? What is all this chattering of bare gums? Does the ague convulse your limbs? Do you mistake your crutches for firelocks and level them? If you blind your eyes with tears, you will not see the President's Marshal. If you groan such groans, you might balk the government cannon. For shame, old maniacs, bring down those tossed arms and let your white hair be. Here gape your great-grandsons, their wives gaze at them from the windows. See how well dressed, see how orderly they conduct themselves. Worse and worse. Can't you stand it? Are you retreating? Is this hour with the living too dead for you? Retreat then, pell-mell, to your graves, back to the hills, old limpers. I do not think you belong here anyhow. But there is one thing that belongs here. Shall I tell you what it is, gentlemen of Boston? I will whisper it to the mayor. He shall send a committee to England. They shall get a grant from the Parliament, go with a cart to the royal vault, dig out King George's coffin, unwrap him quick from the grave cloths, box up his bones for a journey, find a swift Yankee clipper. Here is freight for you, black-bellied clipper. Up with your anchor, shake out your sails, steer straight toward Boston Bay. Now call for the President's Marshal again. Bring out the government cannon. Fetch home with roarers from Congress. Make another procession. Guard it with foot and dragoons. This centerpiece for them. Look, all orderly citizens, look from the windows. Women. The committee open the box, set up the regal ribs, glue those that will not stay. Clap the skull on top of the ribs, and clap a crown on top of the skull. You have got your revenge, old buster. The crown is come to its own, and more than its own. Stick your hands in your pockets, Jonathan. You are a made man from this day. You are mighty cute. And here is one of your bargains. Europe. The 72nd and 73rd years of these states. Suddenly out of its stale and drowsy lair, the lair of slaves, like lightning, it leapt forth, half startled at itself. Its feet upon the ashes and the rags, its hands tight to the throats of kings. O hope and faith, O aching close of exiled patriots' lives, O many a sickened heart, turn back unto this day and make yourselves afresh. And you, paid to defile the people, you liars, mark. Not for numberless agonies, murders, lusts, for court thieving in its manifold mean forms, worming from his simplicity the poor man's wages, for many a promise sworn by royal lips and broken and laughed at in the breaking. Then in their power, not for all these did the blows strike revenge, or the heads of the nobles fall. The people scorned the ferocity of kings. But the sweetness of mercy brewed bitter destruction, and the frightened monarchs come back. Each comes in state with his train, hangman, priest, tax-gatherer, soldier, lawyer, lord, jailer, and sycophant. Yet behind all lowering, stealing low, a shape, vague as the night, draped interminably, head, front, and form in scarlet folds, whose face and eyes none may see. Out of its robes only this, the red robes lifted by the arm, one finger crooked, pointed high over the top, like the head of a snake appears. Meanwhile corpses lie in new-made graves, bloody corpses of young men. The rope of the gibbet hangs heavily. The bullets of princes are flying. The creatures of powers laugh aloud, and all these things bear fruits, and they are good. those corpses of young men, those martyrs that hang from the gibbets, those hearts pierced by the grey lead, cold and motionless as they seem live elsewhere with unslaughtered vitality. They live in other young men, O kings. They live in brothers again ready to defy you. They were purified by death. They were taught and exalted. Not a grave of the murdered for freedom, but grows seed for freedom in its turn to bear seed, which the winds carry afar and re-sow and the rains and the snows nourish. Not a disembodied spirit can the weapons of tyrants let loose, but it stalks invisibly over the earth, whispering, counseling, cautioning. Liberty, let others despair of you. I never despair of you. Is the house shut? Is the master away? Nevertheless, be ready. Be not weary of watching. He will soon return. His messengers come anon. Hand mirror. Hold it up sternly. See this it sends back. Who is it? Is it you? Outside, fair costume, within ashes and filth. No more flashing eye. No more a sonorous voice or springy step. Now some slave's eye, voice, hand, step. A drunkard's breath, unwholesome eater's face. Venereales flesh, lungs rotting away piecemeal, stomach sour and cankerous, joints rheumatic, bowels clogged with abomination, blood circulating dark and poisonous streams, words babble, hearing and touch callous, no brain, no heart left, no magnetism of sex. Such from one look in this looking-glass ere you go hence. Such a result so soon, and from such a beginning. Gods. Lover divine and perfect comrade, waiting content, invisible yet certain. Be thou my God, thou the ideal man, fair, able, beautiful, content, and loving, complete in body and dilate in spirit, be thou my God. O death, for life has served its turn, opener and usher to the heavenly mansion, be thou my God. Aught of mightiest best I see, conceive or know, to break the stagnant tie, thee to free, O soul. Be thou my God. All great ideas, the race's aspirations, all heroism's deeds of rapt enthusiasts, be ye my gods. Or time and space, or shape of earth divine and wondrous, or some fair shape I viewing worship, or lustrous orb of the sun, or star by night, be ye my gods. Germs, forms, qualities, lives, humanity, language, thoughts. The ones known and the ones unknown, the ones on the stars themselves, some shaped, others unshaped, wonders as of those countries. The soil, trees, cities, inhabitants, whatever they may be, splendid suns, the moon and rings, the countless combinations and effects such like, and as good as such like, visible here or anywhere, stand provided for a handful of space which I extend my arm and half enclose with my hand, that containing the start of each and all, the virtue, the germs of all. Thoughts of ownership, as if one fit to own things could not a pleasure enter upon all, and incorporate them into himself or herself. A vista, suppose some sight in arriere through the formative chaos, presuming the growth, fullness, life, now attained on the journey. But I see the road continued, and the journey ever continued. of what was once lacking on earth and in due time has become supplied, and of what will yet be supplied, because all I see and know I believe to have its main purport in what will yet be supplied. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide, and measure them, when I sitting heard the astronomer, where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon unaccountable I became, tired and sick, till rising and gliding out I wandered off by myself in the mystical moist night air, and from time to time looked up perfect silence at the stars. Perfections. Only themselves understand themselves, and the like of themselves, as souls only understand souls. O me, O life, O me, O life, of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, of myself forever reproaching myself, for who more foolish than I, and who more faithless? Of eyes that vainly crave the light, of the objects mean, of the struggle ever renewed, of the poor results of all, of the plodding and sordid crowds I see around me, of the empty and useless years of the rest, with the rest me intertwined, the question, O me, so sad recurring, what good amid these, O me, O life? Answer, that you are here, that life exists, and identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. To a president. All you are doing and saying is to America dangled mirages. You have not learned of nature, of the politics of nature. You have not learned the great amplitude, rectitude, impartiality. You have not seen that only such as they are for these states, and that what is less than they must sooner or later lift off from these states. I sit and look out. I sit and look out upon all the sorrows of the world, and upon all oppression and shame. I hear secret convulsive sobs from young men at anguish with themselves, remorseful after deeds done. I see in low life the mother misused by her children, dying, neglected, gaunt, and desperate. I see the wife misused by her husband. I see the treacherous seducer of young woman. I mark the ranklings of jealousy and unrequited love attempted to be hid. I see these sights on the earth. I see the workings of battle, pestilence, tyranny. I see martyrs and prisoners. I observe a famine at sea. I observe the sailors casting lots, who shall be killed to preserve the lives of the rest. I observe the slights and degradations cast by arrogant persons upon laborers, the poor, and upon Negroes and the like. All these, all the meanness and agony without end, I sitting look out upon, see, hear, and am silent. To rich givers, what you give me I cheerfully accept, a little sustenance, a hut and garden, a little money, as I rendezvous with my poems, a traveller's lodging and breakfast, a journey through the States. Why should I be ashamed to own such gifts? Why to advertise for them? For I myself am not one who bestows nothing upon man and woman, for I bestow upon any man or woman the entrance to all the gifts of the universe. The dalliance of the eagles, skirting the river road, my forenoon walk, my rest. Skyward in air a sudden muffled sound, the dalliance of the eagles, the rushing amorous contact high in space together, The clinching, interlocking claws, a living, fierce, gyrating wheel, 4 beating wings, 2 beaks, a swirling mass, tight grappling, in tumbling, turning, clustering loops, straight downward falling, till o'er the river poised the twain, yet one, a moment's lull, a motionless, still balance in the air, then parting, talons loosing, upward again on slow, firm pinions slanting their separate, diverse flight, she hers, he his, pursuing. Roaming in thought, after reading Hegel. Roaming in thought over the universe, I saw the little that is good steadily hastening towards immortality, and the vast all that is called evil I saw hastening to merge itself and become lost and dead. A farm picture. Through the ample open door of the peaceful country barn, a sunlit pasture field with cattle and horses feeding, and haze and vista, and the far horizon fading away. A child's amaze. Silent and amazed even when a little boy, I remember I heard the preacher every Sunday put God in his statements as contending against some being or influence. The runner. On a flat road runs the well-trained runner. He is lean and sinewy with muscular legs. He is thinly clothed. He leans forward as he runs with lightly closed fists and arms partially raised. Beautiful women. Women sit or move to and fro, some old, some young. The young are beautiful, but the old are more beautiful than the young. Mother and babe. I see the sleeping babe nestling the breast of its mother, the sleeping mother and the babe, hushed. I study them long and long. Thought. Of obedience, faith, adhesiveness. As I stand aloof and look, there is to me something profoundly affecting in large masses of men following the lead of those who do not believe in men. Visored, a mask, a perpetual natural disguiser of herself, concealing her face, concealing her form, changes and transformations every hour, every moment, falling upon her even when she sleeps. Thought of justice, as if could be anything but the same ample law expounded by natural judges and saviors, as if it might be this thing or that thing, according to decisions. Gliding o'er all, through nature, time, and space, as a ship on the waters advancing, the voyage of the soul, not life alone, death. Many deaths I'll sing. Hast never come to thee an hour? Hast never come to thee an hour, a sudden gleam divine, precipitating, bursting all these bubbles, fashions, wealth, these eager business aims, books, politics, art, amours, to utter nothingness? Thought of equality, as if it harmed me, giving others the same chances and rights as myself, as if it were not indispensable to my own rights that others possess the same. To old age, I see in you the estuary that enlarges and spreads itself grandly as it pours in the great sea. Locations and times. Locations and times, what is it in me that meets them all, whenever and wherever, and makes me at home? Forms, colors, densities, odors, what is it in me that corresponds with them? Offerings. 1,000 perfect women and men appear Around each gathers a cluster of friends, and gay children and youths with offerings. To the States, to identify the 16th, 17th, or 18th Presidentiad. Why reclining, interrogating? Why myself and all drowsing? What deepening twilight scum floating atop the waters? Who are they as bats and night dogs askant in the capital? What a filthy Presidentiad! O south, your torrid suns! O north, your arctic freezings! Are those really congressmen? Are those the great judges? Is that the president? Then I will sleep a while yet, for I see that these states sleep for reasons. With gathering murk, with muttering thunder, and lambent shoots we all duly awake, south, north, east, west, inland and seaboard, we will surely wake. End of Book 20.
Book 21. Drum Taps. Part 1. First, O Songs for a Prelude. First, O songs for a prelude, lightly strike on this stretched tympanum pride and joy in my city. How she led the rest to arms, how she gave the cue, how at once with lithe limbs unwaiting a moment she sprang. O superb! O Manhattan, my own, my peerless! O strongest you in the hour of danger, in crisis, O truer than steel! How you sprang! How you threw off the costumes of peace with indifferent hand! How your soft opera music changed, and the drum and fife were heard in their stead! How you led to the war! That shall serve for our prelude, songs of soldiers. How Manhattan drum taps led! 40 years had I in my city seen soldiers parading, 40 years as a pageant, till unawares the lady of this teeming and turbulent city, sleepless amid her ships, her houses, her incalculable wealth, with her million children around her, suddenly at dead of night, at news from the south, incensed, struck with clinched hand the pavement. A shock electric, the night sustained it, till with ominous hum our hive at daybreak poured out its myriads. From the houses then, and the workshops, and through all the doorways leapt they tumultuous, and lo! Manhattan arming. To the drum taps prompt, the young men falling in and arming, the mechanics arming, the trowel, the jack-plane, the blacksmith's hammer, tossed aside with precipitation, the lawyer leaving his office and arming, the judge leaving his court, the driver deserting his wagon in the street, jumping down, throwing the reins abruptly down on the horses' backs, the salesman leaving the store, the boss, bookkeeper, porter, all leaving. Squads gather everywhere by common consent, and arm. The new recruits, even boys, the old men show them how to wear their accoutrements, they buckle the straps carefully. Outdoors arming, indoors arming, the flash of the musket barrels. The white tents cluster in camps, the armed sentries around, the sunrise cannon, and again at sunset. Armed regiments arrive every day, pass through the city, and embark from the wharves. How good they look as they tramp down to the river, sweaty, with their guns on their shoulders. How I love them, how I could hug them, with their brown faces and their clothes and knapsacks covered with dust. The blood of the city up-armed, armed, the cry everywhere. The flags flung out from the steeples of churches, and from all the public buildings and stores. The tearful parting. The mother kisses her son, the son kisses his mother. Loath is the mother to part, yet not a word does she speak to detain him. The tumultuous escort, the ranks of policemen preceding, clearing the way. The unpent enthusiasm, the wild cheers of the crowd for their favorites, the artillery, the silent cannons bright as gold, drawn along, rumble lightly over the stones. Silent cannons, soon to cease your silence, soon unlimbered to begin the red business. All the mutter of preparation, all the determined arming, the hospital service, the lint, bandages, and medicines, the women volunteering for nurses, the work begun for in earnest, no mere parade now. War! An armed race is advancing, the welcome for battle, no turning away. War! Be it weeks, months, or years, an armed race is advancing to welcome it. Manhattan a march, and it's oh to sing it well, it's oh for a manly life in the camp. And the sturdy artillery, the guns bright as gold, the work for giants to serve well the guns, unlimber them. No more, as the past 40 years, for salutes for courtesies merely. Put in something now besides, powder and wadding. And you, lady of ships, you, Mannahatta, old matron of this proud, friendly, turbulent city, often in peace and wealth you were pensive, or covertly frowned amid all your children. But now you smile with joy exulting, old Mannahatta. 1861. Armed year, year of the struggle, no dainty rhymes or sentimental love verses for you, terrible year. Not you as some pale poetling seated at a desk, lisping cadenzas piano, but as a strong man erect, clothed in blue clothes, advancing, carrying rifle on your shoulder, with well-gristled body and sunburnt face and hands, with a knife in the belt at your side, as I heard you shouting loud, your sonorous voice ringing across the continent, your masculine voice, O year, as rising amid the great cities. Amid the men of Manhattan I saw you as one of the workmen, the dwellers in Manhattan, or with large steps crossing the prairies out of Illinois and Indiana, rapidly crossing the west with springy gait and descending the Alleghanies, or down from the Great Lakes or in Pennsylvania, or on deck along the Ohio River, or southward along the Tennessee or Cumberland rivers, or at Chattanooga on the mountain top, saw I your gait, and saw I your sinewy limbs clothed in blue, bearing weapons, robust year, heard your determined voice launched forth again and again, year that suddenly sang by the mouths of the round-lipped cannon, I repeat you, hurrying, crashing, sad, distracted year. Beat, beat, drums! Beat, beat, drums! Blow, bugles, blow! Through the windows, through doors, burst like a ruthless force into the solemn church, and scatter the congregation, into the school where the scholar is studying. Leave not the bridegroom quiet, no happiness must he have now with his bride, nor the peaceful farmer any peace, ploughing his field or gathering his grain. So fierce you whir and pound, you drums, so shrill you bugles blow. Beat, beat, drums! Blow, bugles, blow! Over the traffic of cities, over the rumble of wheels in the streets, are beds prepared for sleepers at night in the houses? No sleepers must sleep in those beds, no bargainers' bargains by day, no brokers or speculators. Would they continue? Would the talkers be talking? Would the singer attempt to sing? Would the lawyer rise in the court to state his case before the judge? Then rattle quicker, heavier drums, you bugles wilder blow. Beat, beat, drums! Blow, bugles, blow! Make no parley, stop for no expostulation. Mind not the timid, mind not the weeper or prayer, mind not the old man beseeching the young man. Let not the child's voice be heard, nor the mother's entreaties. Make even the trestles to shake the dead where they lie awaiting the hearses. So strong you thump, O terrible drums, so loud you bugles blow. From Paumanok, starting, I fly like a bird. From Paumanok starting, I fly like a bird, around and around, to soar, to sing the idea of all. To the north betaking myself to sing their Arctic songs. To Canada till I absorb Canada in myself, to Michigan then, to Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, to sing their songs. They are inimitable. Then to Ohio and Indiana to sing theirs, to Missouri and Kansas and Arkansas to sing theirs. To Tennessee and Kentucky, to the Carolinas and Georgia to sing theirs. To Texas, and so along up toward California, to Rome excepted everywhere. To sing first, to the tap of the war drum if need be, the idea of all, of the Western world one and inseparable, and then the song of each member of these states. Song of the Banner at Daybreak. Poet. Oh, a new song, a free song, flapping, 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 by sounds, by voices clearer, by the wind's voice and that of the drum, by the banner's voice and child's voice, and sea's voice and father's voice, low on the ground and high in the air, on the ground where father and child stand, in the upward air where their eyes turn, where the banner at daybreak is flapping. Words, book words, what are you? Words no more, for hearken and see, my song is there in the open air, and I must sing with the banner and pennant a flapping. I'll weave the cord and twine in man's desire and babe's desire. I'll twine them in. I'll put in life. I'll put the bayonet's flashing point. I'll let bullets and slugs whiz. As one carrying a symbol and menace far into the future, crying with trumpet voice, arouse and beware, beware and arouse. I'll pour the verse with streams of blood, full of volition, full of joy, then loosen, launch forth to go and compete with the banner and pennant, a flapping. Pennant. Come up here, bard, bard, come up here, soul, soul, come up here, dear little child, to fly in the clouds and winds with me, and play with the measureless light. Child. Father, what is that in the sky beckoning to me with long finger, and what does it say to me all the while? Father. Nothing, my babe, you see in the sky, and nothing at all to you it says. But look you, my babe, look at these dazzling things in the houses, and see you the money shops opening, and see you the vehicles preparing to crawl along the streets with goods, these, ah, these, how valued and toiled for these, how envied by all the earth. Poet. Fresh and rosy red the sun is mounting high, on floats the sea in distant blue, careering through its channels. On floats the wind over the breast of the sea setting in toward land, the great steady wind from west or west by south, floating so buoyant with milk-white foam on the waters. But I am not the sea nor the red sun, I am not the wind with girlish laughter, not the immense wind which strengthens, nor the wind which lashes, not the spirit that ever lashes its own body to terror and death, but I am that which unseen comes, and sings, 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 which babbles in brooks and scoots in showers on the land, which the birds know in the woods mornings and evenings, and the shore sands know and the hissing wave, and that banner and pennant, aloft there, flapping and flapping. Child. O father, it is alive, it is full of people, it has children. Oh, now it seems to me it is talking to its children. I hear it, it talks to me, oh, it is wonderful. Oh, it stretches, it spreads and runs so fast. O my father, it is so broad it covers the whole sky. Father. Cease, cease, my foolish babe. What you are saying is sorrowful to me, much displeases me. Behold with the rest again I say, behold not banners and pennants aloft, but the well-prepared pavements behold, and mark the solid-walled houses. Banner and pennant. Speak to the child, O bard, out of Manhattan. To our children all, or north or south of Manhattan, point this day, leaving all the rest, to us over all, and yet we know not why. For what are we, mere strips of cloth, profiting nothing, only flapping in the wind? Poet. I hear and see not strips of cloth alone, I hear the tramp of armies, I hear the challenging sentry, I hear the jubilant shouts of millions of men, I hear liberty. I hear the drums beat, and the trumpets blowing, I myself move abroad swift rising, flying then. I use the wings of the land bird, and use the wings of the sea bird, and look down as from a height. I do not deny the precious results of peace. I see populous cities with wealth incalculable. I see numberless farms. I see the farmers working in their fields or barns. I see mechanics working. I see buildings everywhere founded, going up or finished. I see trains of cars swiftly speeding along railroad tracks drawn by the locomotives. I see the stores, depots of Boston, Baltimore, Charleston, New Orleans. I see far in the west the immense area of grain. I dwell a while hovering. I pass to the lumber forests of the north, and again to the southern plantation, and again to California. Sweeping the whole, I see the countless profit, the busy gatherings, earned wages. See the identity formed out of 38 spacious and haughty states, and many more to come. See forts on the shores of harbors, see ships sailing in and out, then over all, I, my little and lengthened pennant shaped like a sword, runs swiftly up indicating war and defiance, and now the halyards have raised it. Side of my banner broad and blue, side of my starry banner, discarding peace over all the sea and land. Banner and pennant. Yet louder, higher, stronger, bard, yet farther, wider cleave. No longer let our children deem us riches and peace alone. We may be terror and carnage, and are so now. Not now are we any one of these spacious and haughty states, nor any 5, nor 10. Nor market, nor depot we, nor money bank in the city, but these and all, and the brown and spreading land, and the mines below, are ours. And the shores of the sea are ours, and the rivers great and small, and the fields they moisten, and the crops and the fruits are ours, bays and channels and ships sailing in and out are ours, while we over all, over the area spread below, the 3 or 4 millions of square miles, the capitals, the 40 millions of people. O bard, in life and death supreme, we, even we, henceforth flaunt out masterful, high up above. Not for the present alone, for 1,000 years chanting through you, this song, to the soul of one poor little child. Child. O my father, I like not the houses, they will never to me be anything, nor do I like money, but to mount up there I would like, O father dear, that banner I like, that pennant I would be, and must be. Father. Child of mine, you fill me with anguish, to be that pennant would be too fearful. Little you know what it is this day, and after this day forever, it is to gain nothing, but risk and defy everything. Forward to stand in front of wars, and oh, such wars! What have you to do with them, with passions of demons, slaughter, premature death? Banner. Demons and death then I sing, put in all, aye, all will I, sword-shaped pennant for war, and a pleasure new and ecstatic, and the prattled yearning of children, blent with the sounds of the peaceful land, and the liquid wash of the sea, and the black ships fighting on the sea enveloped in smoke, and the icy cool of the far, far north, with rustling cedars and pines, and the whir of drums, and the sound of soldiers marching, and the hot sun shining south, and the beach waves combing over the beach on my eastern shore, and my western shore the same, and all between those shores, and my ever-running Mississippi with bends and chutes, and my Illinois fields, and my Kansas fields, and my fields of Missouri, the continent, devoting the whole identity without reserving an atom. Pour in, whelm that which asks, which sings, with all and the yield of all, fusing and holding, claiming, devouring the whole, no more with tender lip nor musical labial sound, but out of the night emerging for good, our voice persuasive no more, croaking like crows, here in the wind. Poet. My limbs, my veins dilate, my theme is clear at last. Banner so broad advancing out of the night, I sing you haughty and resolute. I burst through where I waited long, too long, deafened and blinded. My hearing and tongue are come to me. A little child taught me. I hear from above, O pennant of war, your ironical call and demand. Insensate, insensate! Yet I at any rate chant you. O banner, not houses of peace indeed are you, nor any nor all their prosperity. If need be you shall again have every one of those houses to destroy them. You thought not to destroy those valuable houses, standing fast, full of comfort, built with money. May they stand fast then? Not an hour except you above them and all stand fast. O banner, not money so precious are you, not farm produce you, nor the material good nutriment, nor excellent stores, nor landed on wharves from the ships, not the superb ships with sail power or steam power, fetching and carrying cargoes, nor machinery, vehicles, trade, nor revenues, but you as henceforth I see you, running up out of the night, bringing your cluster of stars, ever enlarging stars, divider of daybreak you, cutting the air, touched by the sun, measuring the sky, passionately seen and yearned for by one poor little child, while others remain busy or smartly talking, forever teaching thrift, thrift. O you up there, O pennant, where you undulate like a snake, hissing so curious. Out of reach, an idea only, yet furiously fought for, risking bloody death, loved by me, so loved. O you banner leading the day with stars brought from the night. Valueless, object of eyes, over all and demanding all, absolute owner of all. O banner and pennant! I too leave the rest, great as it is nothing, houses, machines are nothing, I see them not. I see but you, O warlike pennant, O banner so broad, with stripes, sing you only, flapping up there in the wind. Rise, O days, from your fathomless deeps. Rise, O days, from your fathomless deeps, till you loftier, fiercer sweep. Long for my soul hungering gymnastic, I devoured what the earth gave me. Long I roamed amid the woods of the north, long I watched Niagara pouring. I traveled the prairies over and slept on their breast. I crossed the Nevadas, I crossed the plateaus. I ascended the towering rocks along the Pacific. I sailed out to sea, I sailed through the storm, I was refreshed by the storm. I watched with joy the threatening maws of the waves. I marked the white combs where they careered so high, curling over. I heard the wind piping. I saw the black clouds. Saw from below what arose and mounted. Oh, superb! Oh, wild as my heart, and powerful! Heard the continuous thunder as it bellowed after the lightning. Noted the slender and jagged threads of lightning as sudden and fast amid the din they chased each other across the sky. These, and such as these, I, elate, saw with wonder, yet pensive and masterful. All the menacing might of the globe uprisen around me, yet there with my soul I fed content, supercilious. 2. 'Twas well, O soul, 'twas a good preparation you gave me. Now we advance our latent and ampler hunger to fill. Now we go forth to receive what the earth and the sea never gave us. Not through the mighty woods we go, but through the mightier cities. Something for us is pouring now more than Niagara pouring. Torrents of men! Sources and rills of the northwest, are you indeed inexhaustible? What, to pavements and homesteads here, what were those storms of the mountains and sea? What to passions I witness around me to-day? Was the sea risen? Was the wind piping the pipe of death under the black clouds? Lo, from deeps more unfathomable, something more deadly and savage, Manhattan rising, advancing with menacing front, Cincinnati, Chicago unchained. What was that swell I saw on the ocean? Behold what comes here, how it climbs with daring feet and hands, how it dashes! How the true thunder bellows after the lightning, how bright the flashes of lightning! How democracy with desperate, vengeful port strides on, shown through the dark by those flashes of lightning! Yet a mournful wail and low sob I fancied I heard through the dark, in a lull of the deafening confusion. 3. Thunder on! Stride on, democracy! Strike with vengeful stroke! And do you rise higher than ever yet, O days, O cities? Crash heavier, heavier yet, O storms! You have done me good. My soul prepared in the mountains absorbs your immortal strong nutriment. Long had I walked my cities, my country roads through farms only half satisfied. One doubt nauseous, undulating like a snake, crawled on the ground before me, continually preceding my steps, turning upon me oft, ironically hissing low. The cities I loved so well I abandoned and left. I sped to the certainties suitable to me, hungering, hungering, hungering for primal energies and nature's dauntlessness. I refreshed myself with it only, I could relish it only. I waited the bursting forth of the pent fire, on the water and air, waited long. But now I no longer wait, I am fully satisfied, I am glutted. I have witnessed the true lightning, I have witnessed my cities electric. I have lived to behold man burst forth and warlike America rise. Hence I will seek no more the food of the northern solitary wilds, no more the mountains roam, or sail the stormy sea. Virginia, the West. The noble sire, fallen on evil days, I saw with hand uplifted, menacing, brandishing. Memories of old in abeyance, love and faith in abeyance. The insane knife toward the mother of all. The noble son on sinewy feet advancing, I saw, out of the land of prairies, land of Ohio's waters and of Indiana, to rescue the stalwart giant, hurry his plenteous offspring, dressed in blue, bearing their trusty rifles on their shoulders. Then the mother of all with calm voice speaking, as to you rebellious, I seemed to hear her say, why strive against me, and why seek my life? when you yourself forever provide to defend me? For you provided me Washington, and now these also. City of Ships. City of ships! Oh, the black ships! Oh, the fierce ships! Oh, the beautiful sharp-bowed steam-ships and sail-ships! City of the world! For all races are here, all the lands of the earth make contributions here. City of the sea! City of hurried and glittering tides! City whose gleeful tides continually rush or recede, whirling in and out with eddies and foam. City of wharves and stores, city of tall facades of marble and iron, proud and passionate city, mettlesome, mad, extravagant city. Spring up, O city, not for peace alone, but be indeed yourself warlike. Fear not, submit to no models but your own, O city. Behold me, incarnate me, as I have incarnated you. I have rejected nothing you offered me. Whom you adopted, I have adopted. Good or bad, I never question you. I love all. I do not condemn anything. I chant and celebrate all that is yours. Yet peace no more. In peace I chanted peace, but now the drum of war is mine. War, red war, is my song through your streets, O city. The Centenarian's Story. Volunteer of 1861 to 1862 at Washington Park, Brooklyn, assisting the centenarian. Give me your hand, old revolutionary. The hilltop is nigh, but a few steps. Make room, gentlemen. Up the path you have followed me well, spite of your 100 and extra years. You can walk, old man, though your eyes are almost done. Your faculties serve you, and presently I must have them serve me. Rest, while I tell what the crowd around us means. On the plain below, recruits are drilling and exercising. There is the camp. 1 regiment departs tomorrow. Do you hear the officers giving their orders? Do you hear the clank of the muskets? Why, what comes over you now, old man? Why do you tremble and clutch my hand so convulsively? The troops are but drilling. They are yet surrounded with smiles. Around them at hand the well-dressed friends and the women, while splendid and warm the afternoon sun shines down. Green the midsummer verdure, and fresh blows the dallying breeze, o'er proud and peaceful cities, and arm of the sea between. But drill and parade are over. They march back to quarters. Only hear that approval of hands! Hear what a clapping! As wending the crowds now part and disperse. But we, old man, not for nothing have I brought you hither. We must remain. You to speak in your turn, and I to listen and tell. The Centenarian. When I clutched your hand it was not with terror, but suddenly pouring about me here on every side, and below there where the boys were drilling and up the slopes they ran, and where tents are pitched, and wherever you see south and southeast and southwest, over hills, across lowlands, and in the skirts of woods, and along the shores, in mire, now filled over, came again and suddenly raged. As 85 years agone no mere parade received with applause of friends, but a battle which I took part in myself, aye, long ago as it is I took part in it, walking then this hilltop, this same ground. Aye, this is the ground, my blind eyes, even as I speak, behold it re-peopled from graves. The years recede, pavements and stately houses disappear, rude forts appear again, the old hooped guns are mounted. I see the lines of raised earth stretching from river to bay. I mark the vista of waters. I mark the uplands and slopes. Here we lay encamped. It was this time in summer also. As I talk, I remember all. I remember the Declaration. It was read here. The whole army paraded. It was read to us here. By his staff surrounded, the general stood in the middle. He held up his unsheathed sword. It glittered in the sun in full sight of the army. 'Twas a bold act then. The English warships had just arrived. We could watch down the lower bay where they lay at anchor, and the transports swarming with soldiers. A few days more, and they landed, and then the battle. 20,000 were brought against us, a veteran force furnished with good artillery. I tell not now the whole of the battle, but one brigade early in the forenoon ordered forward to engage the redcoats. Of that brigade I tell, and how steadily it marched, and how long and well it stood, confronting death. Who do you think that was, marching steadily, sternly, confronting death? It was the brigade of the youngest men, 2,000 strong, raised in Virginia and Maryland, and most of them known personally to the general. Jauntily forward they went with quick step toward Gowanus waters, till of a sudden, unlooked for by defiles through the woods, gained at night the British advancing, rounding in from the east, fiercely playing their guns. That brigade of the youngest was cut off, and at the enemy's mercy. The general watched them from this hill. They made repeated desperate attempts to burst their environment, then drew close together, very compact, their flag flying in the middle. But oh, from the hills how the cannon were thinning and thinning them! It sickens me yet, that slaughter. I saw the moisture gather in drops on the face of the general. I saw how he wrung his hands in anguish. Meanwhile the British manoeuvred to draw us out for a pitched battle, but we dared not trust the chances of a pitched battle. We fought the fight in detachments. Sallying forth we fought at several points, but in each the luck was against us. Our foe advancing, steadily getting the best of it, pushed us back to the works on this hill, till we turned menacing here, and then he left us. That was the going out of the brigade of the youngest men, 2,000 strong. Few returned. Nearly all remain in Brooklyn. That and here my general's first battle. No women looking on, nor sunshine to bask in. It did not conclude with applause. Nobody clapped hands here then. But in darkness, in mist, on the ground, under a chill rain, wearied that night we lay foiled and sullen, while scornfully laughed many an arrogant lord off against us encamped, quite within hearing, feasting, clinking wine-glasses together over their victory. So dull and damp, and another day, but the night of that, mist lifting, rain ceasing, silent as a ghost while they thought they were sure of him, my general retreated. I saw him at the riverside, down by the ferry, lit by torches, hastening the embarkation. My general waited till the soldiers and wounded were all passed over, and then, it was just ere sunrise, these eyes rested on him for the last time. Everyone else seemed filled with gloom. Many, no doubt, thought of capitulation. But when my general passed me, as he stood in his boat and looked toward the coming sun, I saw something different from capitulation. Terminus. Enough, the Centenarian's story ends. The two, past and present, have interchanged. I myself, as connector, as chansonnier of a great future, am now speaking. And is this the ground Washington trod? And these waters I listlessly daily cross, are these the waters he crossed, as resolute in defeat as other generals in their proudest triumph? I must copy the story, and send it eastward and westward. I must preserve that look as it beamed on you rivers of Brooklyn. See, as the annual round returns, the phantoms return. It is the 27th of August, and the British have landed. The battle begins and goes against us. Behold through the smoke Washington's face. The brigade of Virginia and Maryland have marched forth to intercept the enemy. They are cut off. Murderous artillery from the hills plays upon them, rank after rank falls, while over them silently droops the flag, baptized that day in many a young man's bloody wounds, in death, defeat, and sisters' mothers' tears. Ah, hills and slopes of Brooklyn, I perceive you are more valuable than your owners supposed. In the midst of you stands an encampment very old, stands forever the camp of that dead brigade. Cavalry crossing a ford. A line in long array where they wind betwixt green islands, they take a serpentine course, their arms flash in the sun, hark to the musical clank. Behold the silvery river, in it the splashing horses loitering stop to drink. Behold the brown-faced men, each group, each person a picture. The negligent rest on the saddles, while some emerge on the opposite bank. Others are just entering the ford, while scarlet and blue and snowy white, the guidon flags flutter gaily in the wind. Bivouac on a mountainside. I see before me now a travelling army halting. Below a fertile valley spread, with barns and the orchards of summer. Behind the terraced sides of a mountain, abrupt, in places rising high, broken with rocks and clinging cedars, with tall shapes dingily seen. The numerous camp-fires scattered near and far, some away up on the mountain. The shadowy forms of men and horses looming, large-sized, flickering, and over all the sky, far, far out of reach, studded, breaking out, the eternal stars. End of Book 21, Part 1.